I have 3 victims right now who are willing to give testimony about not only what Mr. Carter has done to them, but his wife as well.
Where's the 50 Jay-Z competition? That's the one I've been waiting for.
I want to say shame on Piers Morgan.
Well, why shame on him and not shame on everybody else?
When you have a platform that people actually consider viable and you invite this, it's almost like the beginning of your end.
50 Cent just unleashed his wrath on Piers Morgan for defending Jay-Z's shady past with Beyonce by his side.
Jay-Z ain't answering the phone?
He ain't answering the motherfucking phone.
We know Piers loves jumping into controversy, but even he wasn't ready for the schooling he got from 50.
Editing interviews is not something we do lightly at a show called Uncensored. Like the proverbial cries of fire in a crowded theatre, there are legal limits on us too. And we apologise to Jay-Z and Beyonce.
With all the whispers about Jay-Z's alleged dirty dealings and Beyonce's role in the shadows, it seems like Piers picked the wrong battle.
They're a little couple. They do things.
What do you think happened with Kim
Keeping people against their will. Putting people on planes.
But what exactly did Piers say that made 50 snap? Is Jay-Z really hiding skeletons behind the billion-dollar empire? Let's find out. Fans are saying one of 2 things. Either Jay and Bey slid him a fat stack to keep quiet, or they hit him with some serious threats. Either way, people feel like Piers folded under the pressure and missed a prime shot to air out the industry's dirty laundry. And this is where 50 Cent steps in. You know 50's been beefing with Jay and Bey for ages. He's one of the few who's never been scared to call them out. When you start connecting the dots between them, Diddy, and all the drama swirling around, it's starting to look like 50 might have been onto something this whole time. And let's be real, 50 ain't exactly the type to let this slide without making some noise.
Federal authorities have made clear that Sean Diddy Combs isn't the only one accused of crimes that include bribery, making threats, and
Jay-Z and 50 Cent's beef is like one of the longest running dramas in hip-hop, popping up whenever you least expect it. Jay's got this crazy talent for staying in the spotlight. Dude grabs headlines like it's second nature. Since he blew up, his life's been one wild roller coaster, and the media eats it up like it's the latest binge-worthy show. The back and forth between Jay and 50 goes all the way back to 1999, when 50 dropped How to Rob and took shots at pretty much everyone, including Jay. Of course, Jay wasn't about to let that slide and hit back in It's Hot, Some Like It Hot, with the now iconic line, "I'm about $1, what the F is 50 cents." Rumor had it Jay was flexing on 50, trying to put him in his place. Ever since, they've been taking subtle jabs at each other over the years, never fully squashing the beef, even as they both kept leveling up. Things really heated up in 2002 when 50 clapped back with his track, Be a Gentleman, off his mixtape, Guess Who's Back. In the song, 50 straight up told Jay, "Watch what you say," making it crystal clear he wasn't here to play. That move cranked the tension way up, setting the tone for the next 2 decades of shade and sneak disses between these 2 heavyweights.
Jay walked in the studio. He said it before, but I'm telling you how impactful it was. He walked in the studio and he was like, yo, this dude 50, y'all gonna have to deal with him in the next couple months. He said it to the whole crew.
50 Cent's revelations paint a pretty grim picture of Jay-Z, making it sound like he's willing to do whatever it takes to stay on top. And honestly, knowing Jay's track record, it's not even that surprising. The guy's name has been tied to all kinds of shady stuff over the years, way beyond just a few questionable business moves. In a bit of a wild twist, even though 50 Cent is one of the best-selling rappers of all time, he's never won a Grammy. And he hasn't been shy about saying the game's been rigged against him from the jump. Of course, he's thrown plenty of shade at Jay, who's sitting comfortably with 24 Grammys. The word on the street? 50 thinks Jay's power and connections might have something to do with him getting snubbed all these years. Honestly, with how things seem to play out in the industry, you can't help but wonder if 50's got a point.
The content is similar to what I would do. They didn't recognize mine. They gave me Grammys when I was with them, when I'm on records with them and them. Other than that,
as 50 Cent carved out his own path, he couldn't help but feel like the music industry played favorites. In his eyes, Jay-Z's success seemed to cast a shadow over his own achievements, fueling the rivalry between them. While Jay racked up Grammy after Grammy, 50 stayed focused, calling out what he saw as a flawed and biased system. But instead of backing down, 50 doubled down. He kept challenging the status quo, refusing to let the industry's politics stop him. Grammy or no Grammy, 50 made sure his presence was felt, building an empire, dropping hit records, and proving that success isn't just about trophies.
I don't see them actually want to accomplish having enough. You know what creates cool around you now?
the timeline of Jay-Z and 50 Cent's relationship is anything but straightforward. Even now, 50 Cent has some lingering feelings about Hov, but he recognizes that the problem might not just be with Jay. Despite their differences, it seems like Fifth believes the real source of tension between them is still a bit of a mystery, maybe even to Jay himself. There's this complex web of rivalry, respect, and maybe even jealousy woven into their history. 50's been open about his struggles with feeling overlooked, while Jay continues to dominate the scene. It's like there's this underlying tension that neither of them can fully explain, keeping their relationship as complicated as ever.
What is the issue? You see what I'm saying? Like, and I, with M, because like with Nori was, he had communication. He said, yeah, I talked to the big homies.
In contrast to the tangled history between Jay-Z and 50 Cent, last year's Super Bowl was a dazzling, star-studded affair. 50 Cent hit the stage, sharing the spotlight with some of his favorite rappers, including Eminem, Snoop Dogg, and Kendrick Lamar. The energy in the arena was electric, especially with Mary J. Blige also joining the lineup. It was a celebration of hip-hop that brought everyone together, showcasing the unity and talent in the industry, even amid the rivalries.
That was big. Like look, Dre, that's Dre too. You see what I'm saying? It's Dre and really M, because he wouldn't do it without me.
In a recent chat with Big Boy's Neighborhood, 50 Cent dropped some interesting insights about the events that have unfolded since last year. Even though both he and Jay-Z have built massive hip-hop empires, their relationship has never been close. This became clear when 50 suggested that Jay-Z intentionally left him out of the commercial for the 2022 Super Bowl halftime show. He said, "I got the call before the Pepsi ad went up. I wasn't in the ad because of Jay-Z and them putting it together." When asked if he thought his exclusion was deliberate, 50 replied, "No, I think that they were saying that the NFL had some issues with me. I don't know what those issues are. What is the issue? You see what I'm saying?" He didn't stop there. He also commented on Jay-Z's style, likening it to the late artist Jean-Michel Basquiat. "You imagine yourself after a painter. Big homie wanna look like a gay painter," he quipped. This whole situation ties back to Jay-Z's partnership with the NFL, which he signed in 2019. Meanwhile, there's been a lot of buzz about Jay-Z, Beyonce, and Diddy hanging out together a lot lately. Da Bobby even mentioned in an appearance on Club Shay Shay that he met Beyonce at one of Diddy's parties. It's clear that the dynamics in this industry are anything but simple.
Like, you know what I'm saying? Beyonce, I was at a party at Diddy crib in LA. This was the beginning of 2020.
And folks started speculating that if Beyonce was at Diddy's party, she might be one of Diddy's alleged accomplices. You know how the rumor mill works. People love to connect dots, especially when it comes to big names in the industry. It adds another layer to the already complicated web of relationships among these moguls. Whether it's just gossip or there's something more to it, it definitely keeps the conversation buzzing. One person wrote, "That was the after party. Diddy let him stay for the after party where the freak-offs happened. The 15 people that stayed are people who are the inner circle of the freak-offs. They let the baby stay because Diddy wanted to induct him into the wildness with Jay-Z, Beyonce, and the others that stayed back. Everything is beginning to make sense." But recently, Jaguar Wright sent shockwaves through the industry when she dropped some bombshells about Jay-Z and Beyonce on Piers Morgan's show. She might not be a big name, but that makes her an easier target for backlash. It's not like this is her first rodeo with drama or even the law. She's always been a bit of a wild card, unafraid to go after the big dogs, even if it puts her in a risky position. Her tenacity is pretty impressive, but you have to wonder if it's a bit reckless too. Still, she's not the only one brave enough to take shots at her peers. Then, out of nowhere, Piers issued a sudden apology. Like, what? An apology right after such a viral moment? It left a lot of people scratching their heads, trying to figure out what went down behind the scenes. The whole situation just adds more fuel to the fire of speculation.
Editing interviews is not something we do lightly at a show called Uncensored. Like the proverbial cries of fire in a crowded theatre, there are legal limits on us too. And we apologise to Jay-Z and Beyonce.
The streets are buzzing that it wasn't just Piers having second thoughts. It might have been Jay-Z and Beyonce pulling strings behind the scenes, making sure the damage didn't spread any further. Insiders are whispering that Jay and Bey had their legal team on speed dial, possibly sending threats to Piers to shut it down or face some serious repercussions. After all, these two have a history of getting what they want, and they're not shy about flexing their influence to protect their image. Rumors are flying that right after Jaguar's explosive claims, calls went out to media outlets, delivering a clear ultimatum: pull this content or else. Some speculate that network executives and journalists might be feeling the heat too, worried they could be the next targets of the couple's wrath if they dare to dig deeper into these allegations. It's a wild game, and you can bet everyone's on high alert.
So he had a guest on his show, and that guest made some claims against Jay-Z, and even he ended up having to apologize to Beyonce as well too.
Adding to the intrigue, there are whispers that some insiders who've worked closely with Jay and Beyonce are starting to spill their own tea, hinting that there's a lot more dirt to uncover. This could be the beginning of a massive cover-up in the works, with more people potentially coming forward with their own stories. And what about the implications for Piers Morgan? Did he really apologize out of guilt, or was it a calculated move to protect his career? One thing's for sure, the lengths Jay and Beyonce are willing to go to keep their empire intact should not be underestimated. With all eyes on them now, it's clear that Kat and Jaguar's revelations could shake the very foundation of their carefully curated narrative. As they continue to raise their voices, the public is left wondering just how many more secrets are lurking beneath the surface. Days after the YouTube episode aired, Morgan found himself in hot water and took to the camera to issue an apology on behalf of his media company. He emphasized that they should have checked Jaguar's wild claims, which he admitted were unverified. It's a messy situation, and as things unfold, it looks like the drama is just getting started. The former Good Morning Britain host said Wright would have voiced her opinions regardless of appearing on the show, saying, "The reality of the modern world is that pretty much everyone had a platform, as long as they have something to say that other people want to hear." He added, "That's why we invited Wright on to be interviewed. The people making these claims have an audience with or without shows like mine." But Morgan said that now he had heard from the couple's lawyers, they would edit Wright's allegations out of the show. He then offered a direct apology, saying, "Editing interviews is not something we do lightly at a show called Uncensored. But like the proverbial cries of fire in a crowded theater, there are legal limits on us too. And we apologize to Jay-Z and Beyonce." Adding fuel to the fire, Cat Williams has also been very vocal about Jay and Beyonce, accusing them of sacrificing fellow artists and ruining careers just to climb to the top of the industry. He's gone on record saying that many talented actors and musicians have mysteriously fallen off the map after crossing paths with the couple. This isn't just gossip. Cat claims that behind the glitz and glamour, there's a darker side to their rise, one that involves manipulation and a ruthless quest for power.
That virgin hole I was telling you about. Right, because P. Diddy be wanting to party. And you gotta tell him no. You got to tell him no.
Rumors are swirling that immediately following Jaguar's explosive claims, calls were made to media outlets, giving them a clear ultimatum: remove this content or else. Some speculate that network executives and journalists might be feeling the heat too, fearing they could be the next targets of the couple's wrath if they dare to cover these allegations further.
So he had a guest on his show, and that guest made some claims against Jay-Z, and even he ended up having to apologize to Beyonce as well too.
This whole situation really highlights just how far-reaching the Carters' influence is. Even someone as high-profile as Piers Morgan feels the need to backtrack and apologize when their names come up. It sends a clear message: mess with Jay and Bey, and you might find yourself scrambling to do some serious damage control. As the saga unfolds, it's clear that no one wants to step into the ring with this powerhouse couple, especially when they've got a legal team ready to swing into action at a moment's notice. Now, there's no public link between Jaguar and Beyonce, but Jaguar won't stop insisting she's got all the juicy personal details about the Halo singer. It feels like she's trying to insert herself into their world, and honestly, it's giving major drama alert vibes. During her explosive interview, she didn't hold back at all. She leaned into her long history with Hav and dropped some serious claims that had his lawyers buzzing. Piers even pointed out how Jay-Z had been quiet as a mouse since the Diddy scandal blew up, asking Jaguar why she thought that was. Her bold response? She claimed that after Diddy's arrest, and possibly because of her revelations, Jay would have no choice but to respond. It's a wild ride, and the stakes just keep getting higher.
Jay-Z.
They do things.
What do you think happened with Kim
Keeping people against their will.
When Jaguar says Jay-Z would respond, she's not talking about a polite little statement. She's talking about some serious media control. According to her, Jay-Z and Beyonce have a long history of shutting down anyone who dares speak out against them. Let's be real. If they've allegedly sabotaged careers and blacklisted artists, what's stopping them from flexing their power over media outlets too? Rumors are already swirling that they might have threatened Piers Morgan or his team to scrub that interview with Jaguar for from existence. I mean, Morgan's sudden apology seemed a bit too convenient, don't you think?
Coverage that different outlets are doing on the Diddy accusations, right?
Right.
He says these people have platforms with or without shows like mine. I will just say though, like I know now because anybody can get on TikTok, YouTube, wherever.
It's starting to look like Piers played with fire and got burned. He had the perfect chance to expose the truth about the industry, but instead, he backed down right when it mattered most. Now, his reputation's on shaky ground, and people are already saying this might be the beginning of the end for him. With 50 Cent jumping into the mix, someone who's never been afraid to call out Jay and Bey, it's clear things are only going to get messier for Piers. The beef between 50 Cent and Jay-Z hit a whole new level when 50 dropped his response track, Be a Gentleman. In the song, 50 didn't hold back, telling Jay-Z straight up to watch what you say. This track was part of his mixtape, Guess Who's Back, which dropped in April 2002 and really cranked up the tension between these two hip-hop giants.
Jay walked in the studio, he said it before, but I'm telling you how impactful it was. He walked in the studio and he was like, yo, this dude 50, y'all gonna have to deal with him in the next couple months. He said it to the whole crew.
So 50 Cent's revelations paint a pretty grim picture of Jay-Z, suggesting he's willing to do whatever it takes for fame and fortune. And honestly, considering Jay-Z's track record, it's not all that shocking. He's been linked to some pretty shady stuff in the past, way beyond just sketchy business deals. In a bit of an ironic twist, even though 50 Cent is one of the best-selling rappers ever, he's never won a Grammy. He's been vocal about thinking the industry's been rigged against him from day one. And he's definitely thrown shade at Jay-Z, who's sitting pretty with 24 Grammy Awards. Word is, 50 believes Jay's influence and connections might have something to do with him getting snubbed so many times.
Content is similar to what I would do. They didn't recognize mine. They gave me Grammys when I was with them, when I'm on records with them and them. Other than that.
As 50 Cent followed his own journey, he believed the music industry favored some artists more than others. He felt that Jay-Z's success had overshadowed his own achievements, creating a rivalry between them. Despite Jay-Z's Grammy wins, 50 Cent stayed determined, voicing his concerns about a flawed and biased system. He continued to challenge the status quo and made his mark in the industry.
I don't see them actually want to accomplish having enough. You know what creates cool around you now?
The timeline of Jay-Z and 50 Cent's relationship is complex. Even now, 50 Cent holds lingering feelings towards Hov, but he acknowledges that the issue might not solely lie with Jay-Z. Despite their differences, 50 seems to believe that the true source of tension between them remains a mystery, possibly even to the powerful mogul himself.
What is the issue? You see what I'm saying? Like, and I, with M, because like with Nori was, he had communication. He said, yeah, I talked to the big homie.
In contrast to the complexities of Jay-Z and 50 Cent's relationship, last year's Super Bowl showcased a beautiful star-studded event. 50 Cent took the stage, performing alongside some of his favorite rappers, including Eminem, Snoop Dogg, and Kendrick Lamar. The electrifying atmosphere was further enhanced as Mary J. Blige also graced the stage with them.
That was big. Like, look, Dre, that's Dre too. You see what I'm saying? It's Dre and really M, because he wouldn't do it without me.
In a recent interview with Big Boy's Neighborhood, 50 Cent revealed numerous insights about the events unfolding since last year. Despite both 50 Cent and Jay-Z building hip-hop empires, their relationship has never been that of close friends. This fact was made evident when 50 Cent suggested that Jay-Z intentionally excluded him from the commercial for the 2022 Super Bowl halftime show. The revelation has shed light on the complexities and dynamics between these two influential moguls in the music industry. 50 said, I got the call before the Pepsi ad went up. I wasn't in the ad because of Jay-Z and them putting it together. The rapper was then asked if his exclusion from the ad was intentional. No, I think that they were saying that the NFL had some issues with me. I don't know what those issues are, responds 50. What is the issue? You see what I'm saying? He then remarked about Hov seemingly mirroring the looks of Jean-Michel Basquiat. You imagine yourself after a painter. Big homie want to look like a painter. This show was part of Jay-Z's multi-year partnership with the NFL, which he signed in 2019. And if you notice Jay-Z, Beyonce, and Diddy have been frequently seen together. This was revealed by the rapper Da Bobby. He revealed in Club Shay Shay that he met Beyonce at Diddy's party.
You know what I'm saying? Beyonce, I was at a party at Diddy crib in LA. This was the beginning of 2020.
And people speculated that if she was at Diddy's party, she might be one of Diddy's alleged accomplices. One person wrote, 50, been trying to us about Diddy. People love Jay and Bey so much they are going to skip over the fact they are always at Diddy parties, when everybody knows what a Diddy party is. So what does that say about them? Another one added, Diddy was wanting to party and you gotta tell him no. Cat Williams. So everyone knew what Diddy's parties were really about, and it definitely didn't make Beyonce or Jay-Z look good. The rumors were flying, and people were side-eyeing both of them. The gossip mill went wild, making it sound like Bey was deep in all the drama at one of Diddy's infamous parties. But to be fair, there's another side to the story that kinda shuts down all the buzz. DaBaby's whole testimony about the night? Yeah, turns out it's not holding up because sources say Beyonce had already left the party by the time he even showed up. So that whole mess might just be another case of wild gossip getting out of hand. Beyonce and Jay-Z are undeniably among the most influential figures in the music industry today. As their careers have flourished, they have become music moguls, leaving a significant impact on the entertainment world through their albums, fashion lines, and various endeavors. From their early days of young love to their thriving marriage, their journey has been a remarkable one. According to Jay-Z, "Well, that's my soulmate. It's the person I love. And you can be in love with someone, you can love someone, and if you haven't experienced love and you don't understand it and you don't have the tools to move forward, you're going to have complications, period." However, their relationship seems to make some of their followers uncomfortable, especially 50 Cent.
She said, I come on, I'm talking to her. She jumped out, she was like, duh, duh, duh. And I'm like, wait, what is she doing?
50 Cent thinks that it is precisely due to the fact that Beyonce had only recently left her teenage years, whereas Jay-Z was already in his 30s when the band first formed. A clip of a younger Beyonce gushing about Jay-Z at an awards event has recently resurfaced, reigniting discussions about the potential role the rapper may have played in shaping her career during the early 2000s.
And I don't want to put you on the spot because I know they're probably putting the camera in your face right now, but I love me some Jay-Z.
And just like that, 50 Cent has once again reminded us that he knows more than he lets on. He's got a front row seat to the drama surrounding Jay-Z and Beyonce, and he's not afraid to drop hints about what he knows. It's almost like he's saying, Piers, you had the chance to expose these two on a whole new level, but instead, you chose to play it safe. With 50 throwing shade and serving up truths, it leaves us wondering, what else is he holding back? Are there deeper secrets lurking beneath the surface of this power couple? One thing's for sure, when it comes to the drama in Hollywood, you can always count on 50 to keep it real. That's it for today. See you in the next video. Until then, goodbye.